Hey writers, it's Miss Audacious. We're going to be talking today about compound and complex sentences. So let's get started. Sentence destroyers. We're going to get into that in just a second. So writers often like to vary their sentence structure. This makes writing more enjoyable, interesting, and creative. Using complex sentences is one way to vary the sentence structure. So like writing a compound sentence, it involves combining sentences, but by using sentence destroyers. So we're going to get into the sentence destroyers. Just to give you a refresher, it's AAAWWUBBIS. And that doesn't mean much to you, maybe right now, but we'll get into it. So the first sentence destroyer is after. The second one is although. We've got as, so there's your AAA. We have when, while, until, so there's your WWU. We've got because, before, if, and last but not least, since. And that might be cut off a little bit for you, but it's since. So there's your BBIS, okay? So those are your sentence destroyers. So remember, sentence destroyers include the words after, although, as, when, while, until, because, before, if, and since. So when we get into writing complex sentences, we are going to use a formula like we have been. So if you want to take a minute to write this down into your notebook so that you can refer back to it, I would also write those sentence destroyers in your notebook so that you can look back at those when making your own sentences. You're going to use one of two strategies. So our first strategy is write a simple sentence for your first step. So you should know how to write a simple sentence. Your second step is pick a sentence destroyer and add it to the beginning of the sentence. So you would add one of those sentence destroyers I just went over with you. The third step is to change the period to a comma for your simple sentence, and then you're going to add a second sentence onto the end. Or you can write a simple sentence for your first step. For your second step, you're going to add a sentence destroyer to the end of your sentence instead of the beginning. And then your third step is you're going to add the second sentence to the end, okay? So those are your two formulas for writing complex sentences. So we're going to take a look at this anchor chart. So writing a complex sentence, you use your sentence destroyers. So here's a list of them. And if you want to make this anchor chart in your notebook so you can reference back to it, you can pause this video and most certainly do that. Remember, I always encourage you to go in and copy down these anchor charts. So here is the first example that I went over with you, adding a sentence destroyer to the beginning. So they chose since. My first simple sentence is the bike path goes by my school. They added in that comma, and then they added on the simple sentence number 2, which is I decided to ride my bike. So if we read that all together, it's since the bike path goes by my school, I decided to ride my bike. So two sentences mushed together, your simple sentences. You put that comma, don't forget your comma, and then the sentence destroyer in the front. And then our second example, they said you could add it at the end of your first simple sentence. So they added since to the middle, the end of that simple sentence number 1. So it said, I decided to ride my bike since the bike path goes by my school. So there is example 1 and example 2 for writing your simple sentences and making them into a complex sentence. It's pretty easy. You're just adding in that word beginning or the end of the first sentence. Don't forget your comma. And whenever you want to write a complex sentence, you might try out one or both of these strategies. Try to write a sentence in 2 different ways. For your assignment today, that's exactly what you're going to do. So you're going to write one complex sentence. You're going to put the sentence destroyer at the beginning. And then you're going to rewrite the exact same sentence, but you're going to put that sentence destroyer at the end of the first sentence. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday, and I will be talking to you next week.